Imagine walking into your favorite grocery store next week only to find empty shelves where your go-to snacks used to be. Picture reaching for that familiar cereal box or your favorite candy, only to discover it's gone forever. This isn't some dystopian fantasy. It's happening right now in Canada, and if you don't act fast, you could be caught completely off guard. While you've been going about your daily routine, Canadian regulators have been quietly pulling items off store shelves, and what's coming next will shock you. Before we reveal which everyday grocery items are disappearing from Canadian stores, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more essential updates that could save you from empty pantries and skyrocketing replacement costs. The Canadian government isn't just making small adjustments. They're implementing sweeping changes that will fundamentally alter what you can and cannot buy at your local grocery store. Health Canada and environmental regulators are targeting everything from the colorful cereals your kids love to the convenient packaging that makes modern life possible. These aren't temporary shortages or supply chain issues we're talking about. These are permanent bans that will force millions of Canadians to completely rethink their shopping habits. The consequences of ignoring these changes could mean paying 3 times more for alternatives or going without entirely. Number 10. Artificial trans fats in processed foods. Here's something that might surprise you. Canada was actually ahead of the curve on this one, but many people still don't realize just how many products this affects. Since September 2018, Canada has completely banned the addition of partially hydrogenated oils to all food sold in the country. This means any processed snack, baked good, or frozen meal that relies on artificial trans fats for texture and shelf life is now illegal to manufacture or import. What makes this particularly shocking is that many American brands that Canadians love simply cannot cross the border anymore. Think about those flaky pastries, certain margarines, and even some coffee creamers that have been quietly disappearing from shelves. The food industry has scrambled to reformulate, but some products simply couldn't make the transition economically viable. If you've been wondering why certain imported treats taste different now, or why some familiar brands have vanished entirely, this ban is the culprit. Food manufacturers face a choice: spend millions reformulating or abandon the Canadian market altogether. Number 9. Red dye number 3 in candies and cereals. This one's going to hit parents particularly hard because it targets some of the most colorful and appealing foods that children gravitate toward. Following recent U.S. regulatory actions, Canada is moving towards stricter controls on artificial food colorings, with red dye number 3 facing the most scrutiny. This synthetic coloring agent, also known as erythrocene, has been linked to potential health concerns in laboratory studies, and Canadian health officials are no longer willing to take risks. You'll find this dye in everything from bright red candies to colorful breakfast cereals, frosted donuts, and even some flavored beverages. The ban doesn't just affect obvious red products either. Many purple, pink, and orange items rely on red dye number 3 as a base color. Companies like General Mills, Kellogg's, and various candy manufacturers are racing to reformulate their recipes, but the alternatives often cost significantly more and don't produce the same vibrant colors that make these products so appealing to consumers. Some brands are choosing to exit the Canadian market rather than absorb the reformulation costs. Number 8. BHA and BHT preservatives in snack foods. If you're someone who keeps a stash of crackers, chips, or other packaged snacks in your pantry, this next ban is going to completely upend your shopping routine. Butylated hydroxyanisole, known as BHA, and butylated hydroxytoluene, or BHT, are preservatives that have been keeping your favorite snack foods fresh for decades. These chemicals prevent oils from going rancid and extend shelf life dramatically, which is why food manufacturers love them. However, both substances have been classified as possible carcinogens, and Canada is moving toward stricter regulations that could effectively ban their use in food products. European countries have already restricted these preservatives, and Canadian regulators are following suit. This affects an enormous range of products, including potato chips, crackers, breakfast cereals, chewing gum, and even some frozen foods. Without these preservatives, many snack foods will have dramatically shorter shelf lives, making them more expensive to transport and store, or manufacturers will need to find more expensive natural alternatives. Some products simply won't be economically viable without these preservatives. Number 7. Single-use plastic food packaging. This ban is already rolling out across Canada, and it's causing major disruptions in grocery stores that most shoppers haven't fully grasped yet. The federal government's single-use plastics prohibition regulations are systematically eliminating plastic checkout bags, cutlery, food service containers, and other packaging materials. What many people don't realize is how this affects prepackaged foods, deli items, and fresh produce. Many grocery stores are struggling to find cost-effective alternatives to plastic containers for items like pre-cut fruits, salads, and prepared foods. Some products are becoming significantly more expensive because biodegradable packaging costs 3 to 4 times more than traditional plastic. Others are simply being discontinued because no viable packaging alternative exists. The ban also affects items like plastic wrap around multi-packs of canned goods, plastic rings on 6-packs of beverages, and even the plastic windows on cereal boxes. Phase 2 of this ban, which includes more food packaging restrictions, will make even more products unavailable or prohibitively expensive. Number 6. Potassium bromate in baked goods. Here's a chemical that most Canadians have never heard of, but it's been secretly making their bread, rolls, and baked goods taste better for years. Potassium bromate is a flour improver that helps create that perfect texture and volume in commercial baking. It makes bread rise higher, creates a finer crumb structure, and gives baked goods a longer shelf life. The problem is that this chemical has been banned in Canada since 1994, but many people don't realize how this affects imported baked goods and even some ingredients used in home baking. American-made breads, rolls, and baking mixes that contain potassium bromate cannot legally be sold in Canada. This ban has created a thriving black market for certain American baking products, and it's why many people notice that bread tastes different when they travel between Canada and the United States. Canadian bakeries have had to develop alternative methods and ingredients, which often results in higher costs and different textures. Some artisanal baking ingredients that home bakers want to import are simply not available because of this restriction. Number 5. Ractopamine in pork and beef products. This one affects meat lovers and could explain why certain imported meat products have become increasingly scarce or expensive in Canadian grocery stores. Ractopamine is a growth-promoting drug used in livestock farming, particularly for pigs and cattle, to increase lean muscle mass and reduce fat. While it's commonly used in American livestock production, Canada has banned its use in domestic animals and prohibits the import of meat from animals that have been treated with ractopamine. This means that a significant portion of American pork and beef cannot be sold in Canadian markets. The ban affects not just fresh meat, but also processed products like bacon, sausages, ham, and beef jerky that are manufactured in the United States. Many popular American meat brands simply cannot enter the Canadian market, and this restriction has contributed to higher meat prices as Canadian consumers compete for a smaller supply of approved products. Some specialty imported meats that Canadians enjoyed have completely disappeared from store shelves because of this ban. Number 4. Olestra in fat-free snack foods. Remember those fat-free potato chips and snacks that promised you could eat junk food without the guilt? Canada banned the synthetic fat substitute Olestra years ago, but the effects are still being felt today. Olestra, marketed under the brand name Olean, was designed to pass through the human digestive system without being absorbed, theoretically allowing people to enjoy fried foods without the calories. However, this chemical caused significant digestive issues and could interfere with the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins. While American stores still carry some products containing Olestra, these items cannot be imported into Canada. This ban has effectively eliminated an entire category of diet snack foods from Canadian shelves. Manufacturers who wanted to sell fat-free alternatives in Canada had to develop completely different formulations, often resulting in products that taste significantly different or cost much more to produce. Some brands simply chose not to enter the Canadian market at all, rather than create separate product lines. Number 3. Recombinant bovine growth hormone, RBGH, in dairy products. This hormone ban affects one of the most basic staples in every Canadian household, milk and dairy products. Canada has prohibited the use of recombinant bovine growth hormone, also known as RBST, in dairy cows since 1999. This synthetic hormone increases milk production in cows, but has raised concerns about animal welfare and potential human health effects. The ban means that dairy products from American farms using RBGH cannot be imported into Canada, significantly limiting the variety and availability of imported cheeses, milk powders, and other dairy ingredients. This restriction has contributed to higher dairy prices in Canada compared to the United States, and it affects everything from specialty cheeses to ingredients used in processed foods. Many American dairy brands that Canadians might want to try are simply not available because of this ban. The restriction also affects dairy-containing processed foods, baked goods, and even some dietary supplements that use American-sourced dairy ingredients. Number 2. Brominated vegetable oil in beverages. This additive might sound harmless. After all, it contains vegetable oil in the name, but Canada has banned brominated vegetable oil, or BVO, in beverages since 2004. BVO is used to keep citrus flavoring oils suspended in drinks, preventing them from separating and floating to the surface. It's commonly found in citrus-flavored sodas, sports drinks, and some flavored waters. The chemical contains bromine, the same element found in flame retardants, and has been linked to potential neurological and reproductive health concerns. This ban affects many popular American beverage brands that cannot be imported into Canada in their original formulations. Some companies have created Canada-specific versions of their drinks without BVO, but these often taste different and cost more to produce. Other brands have simply chosen not to enter the Canadian market. The ban also affects some imported mixers, flavored waters, and even certain alcoholic beverages that use BVO to maintain their appearance and consistency. Number 1. Titanium dioxide in food products. Here's the ban that's going to shock most Canadians because it affects an enormous range of everyday products, and many people have no idea this ingredient even exists in their food. Titanium dioxide is a whitening agent that's used to make foods appear brighter and more appealing. You'll find it in everything from white-colored candies and gum to salad dressings, coffee creamer, and even some medications and supplements. Following European Union restrictions, Canada is moving toward banning titanium dioxide as a food additive due to concerns about nanoparticle accumulation in the body. This ban will affect thousands of products currently on Canadian shelves. Skittles, for example, has already had to reformulate their recipe for European markets, and similar changes are coming to Canada. Many white-colored foods will either disappear entirely or look significantly different without this additive. The economic impact is staggering because titanium dioxide is one of the most widely used food additives in the world, and finding alternatives that provide the same visual appeal is extremely challenging and expensive. So there you have it, 10 grocery items that Canada is systematically removing from store shelves. From the trans fats that made your favorite pastries flaky to the colorful dyes that make cereal appealing to kids, these bans are reshaping what Canadian families can buy and eat. The consequences go far beyond just missing a few favorite products. They're driving up food costs, limiting choices, and forcing consumers to completely rethink their shopping habits. What do you think about these bans? Are Canadian regulators going too far in restricting consumer choice, or are these necessary steps to protect public health? Have you noticed any of these products disappearing from your local stores? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and tell us which of these bans surprised you the most. If you found this information valuable and want to stay ahead of future changes that could affect your grocery shopping, make sure to like this video, Share it with friends and family who need to know about these bans, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on consumer protection and regulatory changes. Click that bell icon so you never miss our latest videos that could save you time, money, and frustration at the grocery store.